Hello everyone, my name is Manisha Eerabathini. I'm a playback singer in the Telugu Film Industry and also an independent artist. Welcome to my TED Talk. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am extremely honored to be invited to speak at this TEDxOsmaniaU University event, as OU actually happens to be my father's alma mater. He completed his bachelor's in civil engineering and his master's in computer science engineering way back in the day at OU. If I'm being completely honest, I find it a little strange to be standing here giving you advice, perhaps a small case of imposter syndrome, but all I can do is share what I have been through and hope that it adds something of value in your life. Why have you moved to India after growing up in the US when everyone here in India is trying to move to the US? I have gotten this question over and over and over again in the past several years. In order to address this, I must give some context of my life. In pursuit of better career opportunities, my father made the decision to immigrate to the US in the 90s. And shortly after my birth, both my parents left home as they knew it to move to a new country, not knowing what to expect, really. My mother didn't know how to converse in English, there were no cell phones, there wasn't internet, etc. My childhood was something of a duality in itself. A very Telugu home life and a very American school life. I was constantly juggling between adaptation of what Americans do and preservation of what Indians do. Out of interest, my parents got me into Carnatic vocal music and Bharatanatyam at an early age, and I spent most of my childhood around these art forms. However, all of these were merely extracurricular activities, as I was still well on my math and science journey in terms of my future career. I then got into the University of California at Berkeley, majoring in electrical engineering and computer science. Between my third and fourth year, I was working as a software engineering intern when I randomly auditioned and got selected for ETV Padatatiga, a prestigious Telugu singing competition headed by the legendary S.P. Balasubramaniam sir. I managed to work my internship on the weekdays, learn how to sing film songs for the first time, and compete during the weekend shoots. Little did I know, this 6-week whirlwind would change my life forever. During the telecast of the show, I began interviewing for engineering jobs for post-graduation. A family friend of mine asked me if I ever considered trying to enter the film industry doing playback singing. This planted a seed in my head. I started to talk about it with my parents. What if I didn't pursue this path that I always thought I would simply follow? A path that was study hard, do well in school and college, get a well-paid job, probably in the city of San Francisco, be one of many in the Silicon Valley. For the first time in my life, my entire outlook on what my life would be and could be was completely altered. I made lists of pros and cons of taking this huge risk, which, mind you, I was terrified to do because I'm a let's play it safe kind of girl. After several days of going back and forth with myself and my parents, I decided, okay, let's try for a year and let's see how it goes. I always have a great degree from a reputed college to fall back on. More than all that, however, I had an image in my head that kept popping up. It was an image of me sitting in a cubicle at the age of 40 at a tech company coding in, let's say, Ruby on Rails, as I daydreamed about a big what if. A what if I made my passion a reality? What if I made it? What if I managed to impact many people? What if I became my own boss? What if I sang every day for a living? This image is so clearly etched in my head, and I decided then that I would never want to be sitting at that cubicle at 40 and regretting never taking that risk that could have changed my life forever. Though what I was about to do was never in the picture growing up and didn't sound at all like the words doctor, engineer, lawyer, I decided to seize the opportunity. And so I packed up my life and moved to India along with my mother shortly after graduation, not exactly knowing what I really was getting myself into. 1 year somehow became 7, and here I am now. Looking back on my journey, I realized 4 major things that I wanted to share with you all. 4 things that I wish I had known back then, or that someone would have told me 4 things that were true consequences of breaking a stereotype, of walking on an unconventional path. In my experience, of course. Number 1, this isn't a one-time decision I made way back in 2014. It's not a list that I can check off and can say, hey, I'm done with this decision, let's move on. It is an ongoing choice with real implications. I am deciding to believe in myself every single day. I am deciding every day to create my own story. A lot of people ask me, what's it like working in a film industry? What's it like being an artist? What's it like having such a volatile lifestyle? It is truly, truly an emotional roller coaster. It is waking up every day and telling yourself and proving to yourself why the decision you made is right, no matter what you hear all around you. And let me tell you, it is mentally draining and exhausting. In June of 2016, I had pretty much decided I was going to set a deadline on this journey, give it until January 2017, give up and move back to America. I thought to myself, all right, this has gone on for some time. Maybe this is it. It's time. I even told my friends back in the US that I would be moving back in January. Come January, I released my first professional video on my YouTube channel, the 2016 Tollywood Mashup, which happened so randomly, but also did so well just as randomly. And a few weeks later, my biggest playback hit, Arere Ekkada, also released in the same month. Arere ekkada 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 na pranam ee prasnaku nuvele samadhanam. This was a song that gave me my biggest playback hit for sure. It's so strange how the world works sometimes. A time that I had basically decided would be the end. I would give up. It gave me 2 pivotal points in my career. Biggest playback hit aside, by releasing the mashup, I unknowingly opened up the doors to another path that I created for myself, an outlet for all of my own creative ideas. Today, I not only sing playback, but I'm also in charge of my own independent music. A place where I am the boss, where my wildest ideas can become realities, where projects happen on my terms, and I get to create what I want. This was an example of me not believing in myself, of me almost deciding to not trust in my decision. This close to calling it quits, and look what I would have missed out on. I would have definitely missed out on this TED Talk, that's for sure. Seriously, so crazy how the world works. Point number 2. The decision to follow your passion as a career comes with a lot of sacrifice. I left my friends and family, my lifestyle, pretty much everything I knew to enter an industry where I knew no one, had no connections, and could barely speak the language initially. While my friends continued to excel in their careers in the US, I sat across the world living this wavering artistic lifestyle. I could have been in America making 6 figures, hanging out with friends and family, buying a house, getting married, etc. All things that look great on paper. But I chose to forego all of that for my personal bigger picture. However, I think I downplayed how difficult it would be to be okay with these sacrifices, and even just yesterday, there was a moment I was briefly not okay with these sacrifices. Especially in a world where social media is so prevalent, every day I see someone getting engaged. Every day I see someone buying a house, someone doing things that I feel like I could have also done that if I had chosen another career path. However, these are all things I have to brush off my shoulders, and I just have to have tunnel vision, trust myself, and get back to work. Because I know that at the end of this long tunnel is a vision of what I truly want. Number 3, in my case, I somehow landed in a position with a lot of power to influence, which I definitely did not expect. With my voice, I am able to affect people around the world, even if it's just for 1 minute. I vividly remember a pregnant woman who had messaged me a while ago about how my 15-second singing story on Instagram had made her unborn baby continuously kick. She requested that I share it with her so that she can continue to play it. How beautiful, how rare, how powerful is that? I still remember that to this day because it moved me so much. And I never take this for granted because this is what makes you realize the beauty in art, the beauty in music. It's just so magical, really. Arupu, an independent music project I was part of, speaks about the treatment of women in terms of rape, patriarchy, and inequality. This was a project I was so proud to be a part of because even those who didn't know the language were affected by it. A friend of mine all across the world was in tears watching the music video, even though she didn't understand a single word of it. That's how powerful music and art can be. And I'm so lucky I'm a part of it. I found that I can also have an effect on people. Maybe not always with that level of impact, but I did too. Recently, I discovered that this power I've stumbled upon isn't just about music anymore. It's something about bigger things. As India goes through troubling times due to COVID, I realize the importance of having this power, of having a social media presence. Sharing the story of a man looking for an oxygen bed for his father is truly nothing for me to do, but could be life-changing for him. Then isn't it my responsibility to do the bare minimum? I'm still figuring out how to maneuver through this newfound power and platform, but I definitely did not foresee this happening. And I do not take for granted that not many can say this, that this would happen to them. This is truly rare, and I am very grateful. Number 4, I knew that making this move and continuing to pursue my passion, I would get loads of comments from people in society who just didn't understand. Why would she graduate from a great college, leave a stable lifestyle in order to pursue something so uncertain? Is she doing this for fun? We don't know. Anyone pursuing anything unconventional must have heard this at least 1,000 times. But I think I didn't realize then that these comments would actually hurt me from time to time. And when they do, I have to again prove to myself in my mind that I made the right decision for me. You did it. You made the right decision, Manisha, is what I have to tell myself. But I can't sit here and explain my decisions to every person who asks, is she done with her music stuff yet? Some may say I'm successful because I made it. Some may say I'm not because I failed. But success is always relative anyways. Something that I would call a success may not even matter to you, and vice versa. So why does it matter when someone I don't know, whose definition of success I don't know, questions my decisions, my pursuits, my choices? Well, of course it doesn't matter, but it doesn't negate the fact that those comments definitely sting. But you have to be strong enough to know that not everyone is going to support you, and at the end of the day, it's your life to live. No one but yourself is going to understand your motivations and back you unconditionally, which is why your individual belief must be unbreakable. These are all things that I wish I had understood better from the start. And maybe those out there pursuing passions or going against the norm can relate. And if you're just starting out, these are all definitely things that you should look out for. What I truly want to emphasize today, however, is the reality of deciding to break a stereotype. Pursuing a passion is almost glamorized in this day and age, but I'm here to tell you that as beautiful as it is, it comes with all the ugly as well. It takes confidence, it takes an unwavering belief in yourself, a resolve that cannot be broken by even the harshest of critics, and a strength of letting go of the things that matter most to you. What it comes down to, however, is having clear intentions. I like to think of it like writing an essay or a paper in college. No matter what, you always refer back to your thesis statement. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is it that you're trying to convey? Intention is everything. Intention is everything. It is key. And even on my bad days, I go back to my thesis statement. I am doing this because I love making music. I love being creative. I love the feeling of impacting someone else's day with my voice, even if it's just for a second. I love expressing myself in various artistic ways. There's a pure happiness in this that no one can take away from me, and I love it. This is what I love doing. Glass ceilings won't always be broken immediately, but they will be broken. You just have to believe that you can be the one to do it. Don't let the naysayers prevent you from following your heart, because trust me, you'll live the rest of your life with regret. My name is Manisha Eerabathini, and I can confidently tell you that at the age 40, I'm going to be proud of myself looking back, because I followed my dream. Successful or not, we don't know. I tried the unthinkable, and there will be no what ifs. Now let's just hope that at that point, at 40, the words Ruby on Rails will have no relevance in my life. Hope this gave you something to think about, and thank you so much for your time.